Welcome to my couch. The last few weeks, really the last month or so of like March going into April, has been uncharacteristically good for finding cool stuff at thrift stores in my area. You know, like games, old electronics, computer stuff, that sort of thing. So I just thought I'd do a short little unscripted video and kind of show off what I've been able to find hunting out in the wild. So let's check it out. Alright, so a lot of what I tend to buy is stuff I had in the past but got rid of for one reason or another. But lately what I've been finding is stuff that I didn't have and was curious about back in the day, or stuff I'd never heard of, so that's always kind of cool to find. First up is this Spore Galactic Edition with this art book, and yeah, I suspect there's some kind of other packaging to keep these together that was missing, but for only $1 I couldn't really say no. Pretty neat to find. And then at the same store was this, which to find in Central Florida, I don't know, seemed a bit of an oddity. I saw it and I didn't recognize this language, and looked on the back and saw it's a Thai release of The Sims 2 University. It was not $5. I didn't get it at Goodwill. Got it for $1 at a church thrift store. So that's pretty neat. And the rest of these I found at the same Goodwill, and I first saw this next to a bunch of World of Warcraft boxes, and those I didn't get. I have no interest in them, but I figured there had to be more around here. So I looked around on the other shelves, and sure enough, there's a whole bunch, and I picked most of them up. This one I was really excited for. I love Morrowind. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And yeah, I have this digitally on the PC, and I have the original release and the Game of the Year on the Xbox, but I didn't have it physically for the PC, and now I do. So that's neat. Next up was this one, which I had only kind of heard of offhand, Beyond Divinity. Don't know much about it, but I don't know, screenshots look cool. And the box has this cool gatefold. Always enjoy those. This is a game I'd always been curious about, but for whatever reason had never picked up. Neverwinter Nights. And yeah, there's a physical copy of it. And one cool thing it came with is, off camera here, this cloth map. These, you know, the Ultima games used to come with these, but for a relatively newer game to come with something like this, I think that's really cool. You know, these kind of feelies, as they called them. So that's awesome. And right next to it was the second game. So yeah, same thing. I was always curious about this, never bothered to pick it up. Saw it for sale on Steam or whatever all the time, but never pulled the trigger on it. So that's cool. This one I'd never heard of, but the screenshots look really neat. And I saw it was published by Microsoft, and I have a lot of nostalgia for that era in the late 90s and early 2000s when they were publishing a lot of cool games I liked, like Midtown Madness and the other Madness games, stuff like that. Flight Simulator. Loved the Sidewinder joysticks. I don't know, that pre-Xbox era when they were dabbling in gaming stuff was always really cool and exciting to me. So very excited to try these out. And lately it's also been a really good time to find console games. So yeah, I got this Need for Speed Carbon. Has a printed out list of cheats. A bunch of these do, actually. This is one that I never played. I remember when it came out, but I'd kind of gotten out of the Need for Speed series by this point. But looks neat. I mean, I liked the other ones from this era, like Most Wanted was really cool. So I expect to enjoy this. And this, Street Fighter V, that's not that old of a game. And I found it at Goodwill for just a couple of bucks. So that's cool. Love Street Fighter. Found a few PS2 games. Socom 3, one of the ones I never played. By this time, I had pretty much transitioned from PS2 to Xbox. And I think this is the year this came out was when I got rid of my PS2. But I loved the first two. They were awesome. Thought this one looked cool and found it for a few bucks. So excited to get into that. For some reason, I didn't already own this. When I worked at a game store, I saw plenty of copies come through, but I don't know, I never picked it up. But I found this next to Socom for like $2 or $3. It's in great shape, complete with the manual and everything. Disc looks good. Nice. This is a game I had been passing up for years, and for no real reason. I had heard it wasn't that great, and I don't know, I just never felt that enticed to try it out, but I don't know, I saw it and decided to go for it. I mean, it's got dinosaurs. Gotta love that. We'll see how it is. These rebooted Prince of Persia games that came out in like the mid-2000s, I was always curious about. Like, I remember the first one that came out was very critically acclaimed, but I just never checked them out. But I found this one, The Two Thrones, for a few bucks. Decided to go with it. Definitely going to be firing that up soon. And this, I had never heard of. I suspect it might have been kind of a budget release. Not really sure though, but I had actually been wanting more like plain dogfighting type games. You know, I enjoy that stuff. I've been playing Crimson Skies a lot lately. You know, that game's awesome. And yeah, I didn't have my phone on me when I was in the store, so I couldn't like look it up to see if it was any good. I did when I get home, and it got good reviews, and I played it myself before filming this, and it was awesome. The controls were really, really tight. I think I actually like the controls better than Crimson Skies. These next two I already have, and I mostly got them to pass along to a friend. I have a friend who's getting into original Xbox stuff and figured he'd enjoy this. This is a must-have. This is my favorite version of the game. So yeah, it's complete with the map poster thing and all that. So nice. And same with this. I've already got it. Mine's actually complete in the box, or in the case with the manual and everything. This is another one that has a printed out list of cheats. So I don't know, stuff like that I like to leave in just because it's entertaining. And the other day, these are off camera here, but I found some Sega Master System games for just a few bucks. I don't have a Master System. I've never had one, no real nostalgia for it, but I don't see these every day, so I picked them up. These games I have played on other systems like Hang On and Space Harrier. I played on the Xbox version of Shenmue 2. At least I'm pretty sure. It's been a while, but yeah, those are awesome. And then last is this. This is a Trident ProVidia 3D accelerator for Windows 95 era PCs. And yeah, it came in 1, 2, and 4 megabyte versions. And it has this disc in here that has like a sampling of different Sega games. Because this was during that era when they were hyping up like Saturn ports on the PC. And yeah, let's open this up. Yeah, here it is. Got Daytona USA, Bug, Sonic Schoolhouse, Garfield, Baku Baku, Virtua Squad. And yeah, even if I don't do anything with the card in the immediate future, I'm definitely checking out those games. And here's the card itself. Nothing real complicated. I did notice these are unpopulated. In the Windows 95 era for me, I didn't have a 3D accelerator, so I'm not super knowledgeable about them. I think this is populated to like upgrade the memory. Don't know if they're all supposed to be empty. Maybe whoever had it before me just kept that, but who knows. I've heard it's not actually that good of a card, so I'm not particularly worried about it. But yeah. So that's all for games at the moment, and we'll see what else I've got. Okay, so this is a newer camera that I'm normally interested in picking up, but I saw it from far away and saw the wood grain and just the general retro appearance, I guess, and thought maybe it was an old like Instamatic or something. But upon closer inspection, it's actually a lomography fisheye. And these I'm not really interested in. I think they're kind of overpriced for what they are. I get, the aesthetic they're going for, especially with the kind of photos they take. But, paying like $50 and up for just a mechanical plastic camera, I'm not really into. But this was $5. And it's not really old or retro or anything, but the way it works is definitely pretty antiquated. There are no real features to speak of. I've got other point and shoots that operate pretty much the same way, just all plastic, mechanical. It does have a flash. That's the only thing this on-off switch does, as far as I know. And I don't know, for $5, I couldn't say no. I found it intriguing, and definitely gonna put a roll through it and see how it turns out. So kind of neat. God, this sticker though, this was definitely somebody's like high school graduation gift or something. I'm sure a lot of summer before college beach photos were taken with this. So yeah, clean it up, put a test roll through it, see how it turns out. Maybe that'll turn into a video if anyone's interested in that. I don't know. I'm curious to see how they turn out, because most of my point and shoots don't have like super wide angle lenses or anything. Pretty standard, like 35, 50, whatever. So yeah. And then moving on back to the couch. I moved back over to the couch for this because I need to get new rubber feet for it, and I don't want it to scratch up my desk or anything. But yeah, this is an old Pioneer PL200 turntable. It's direct drive, auto return, and it's in pretty good condition. With Goodwill turntables, usually it's the typical Crosley or Ion fare, and they're like half broken, or those little all-in-one systems with like a cassette tape and radio built in, and they're always kind of not the best condition and not even the best quality when they're new. So to find this, I was extremely excited. It's got the brushed metal look from the 70s that fits in with the rest of my system. And yeah, it works. You move the arm and it spins right up. And the only thing it was missing was a counterweight, which I just got off eBay. It came the other day before I filmed this. And a cartridge. There was one with it, but it was kind of dangling down and I couldn't get it back up. So something on it must have broken off or whatever. And I don't know how old it was. It was just a no-name. So replace that with a nicer one and I'll be good to go. And yeah, this is really cool. Oh, and a dust cover, but those I was able to track down on eBay pretty easily. There's a good amount of spare parts for these. And yeah, I'm super psyched on it. Yeah, one thing I do like about it is down here there's a little strobe display to make sure your speed is actually what it's supposed to be. You can adjust it with the little dial down here. And yeah, it's a super cool find. It was only 20 bucks. So, hell yeah. Very excited for that. I was like giddy when I found it. It was like a Monday morning. They had just opened. I happened to be driving by at around 9 a.m. And stuff like this, you kind of have to get it real quick because it's going to get snatched up. I mean, anything good there is kind of like that. And I happened to be the guy. And a few people saw me walking around the store with it in my hand, and they were kind of like, damn, I wish I had gotten to that. Like, what is that? Is that Pioneer? Ah, you know. But yeah, so it definitely pays to be the first guy in the store at 9 a.m. on a Monday. And it's funny, since picking this up, I've actually found a lot more turntables at Goodwill than usual. Like, just a few days ago, I found another Pioneer, PL560. And it was complete and working with the cartridge and all. It was a nice Audio-Technica one. But the turntable itself was kind of cheap plastic feeling. Apparently there's two turntables with the same model name, the 560. This was not the heavier metal one. This is kind of just a cheap 80s turntable. So I passed on it. Leave that for someone else to enjoy, because I've already got this. So hell yeah.